you have to be Muslim.
Right.
That is the first thing.
Right.
Muslimun, aqilun,
Right.
balighun, qadirun.
Right. Plus have the right
Meaning,
intention, no?
yeah, I mean, one is to be a Muslim in Islam. You have to be Muslim to fast. Two is to be sound-minded. If you are insane or if you have mental problem, then in Islam you're not required to fast.
Right.
Because the Prophet ﷺ say, "Rufi al-qalamu an thalath."
But if
that
you
meaning that the qalam, the pen, is lifted from 3 people: a young person that is not adult yet, and an insane person that has mental problem, someone who cannot know anything that is going on around him, and so a person that is sleeping until he wakes up.
Right. Or pregnant woman, or
Yeah, I'm coming. So that's when you say the first thing is Islam. The second thing is aqil, sane minded. The third thing is able. That is when you are unable, then this needs details. The unable people are those who are sick, for example, and this sickness can be temporary, and this sickness can be also a sickness that continue. If the sickness is temporary, the person does not fast, but he will make them up when he is well.
right, temporary, like if a
yeah.
woman is pregnant.
Yeah,
that's temporary.
yeah, but that's not a sickness. That's something else.
No, I'm saying
that comes in the list of those people who don't fast. For example, if the woman is pregnant, or if the woman is breastfeeding, or if the woman see her periods.
If she's in her mens. Yes.
Yeah. So if this happens, we will see. If he see her periods, if she sees her periods, or she give birth, there is a blood that comes out. That time that blood we call nifas, and the blood of haid. That period, not only you don't have to fast, but you cannot fast. It is haram for you to fast, and if you fast, you're not gonna be rewarded, and it's not gonna be enough for you.
Right.
But if the person is unable because of the state of breastfeeding, and if she fasts, this can affect to her health or to the health of her child, then she shouldn't fast. If she's pregnant and the pregnancy is advanced, or the doctor tells her that she cannot fast, then she shouldn't fast. Then there are different legal statutes in that. Some of these people that cannot fast will make it up. Some of people that cannot fast, they will not make it up. They just have to feed the poor.
Right.
Some people, they feed.
But I'm sorry for cutting you off. I want to try to cover who can fast and who can't fast. I just want to stay on that one subject. If somebody's an elderly person, is there a specific age, or do they have to feel a specific way as an elderly person? When does an elderly person is excused from not fasting?
Yes. If the elderly person, it's not about the age, it's about the state of the person. Some people are old, yet can fast without any problem. But if the person is old, and when they fast, they have problem, then Islam is a deen of rahmah. They just feed the poor, but they don't have to fast. But if the age bring them up to lose their consciousness, then they don't have to fast and they don't have to feed, because the qalam is lifted from them. But if the person, if he's just old, and he can fast without any problem. So any person, because Allah say وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ مِنْ أَطَاقَ يُطِيق. The word يُطِيق means something that you can do but with difficulty. But because that means if the person finds difficulty to fast, then he shouldn't. Whether they have disease that makes them not be able to fast, whether they are pregnant, whether they are breastfeeding, whether it's because of their age. If they find difficulty in fasting, but the difficulty means that the fast, rather than benefiting them, is gonna harm them.
Right.
It's gonna harm it's gonna make them more sick, or it's gonna make the sickness stronger,
Right.
or it's gonna affect.
So they shouldn't fast if it's gonna hurt
Yeah.
them in any physical way.
Yeah. Whenever there is problem, then the action of worship is lifted.
Mhm.
The only worship that cannot be lifted.
Mhm. Let me ask you something. You mentioned before about a woman being in her men's. So let me ask you. I'm just asking you questions that are asked to us, and so I'm putting them to you. So let's say a sister has a men's, and the brother's fasting. If he touched her, would that break his fast? If he
No.
kissed her, would that break his fast? If
Prob-
he held her hand, would that break up his fast?
No, Sayyidatuna Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to fast and used to kiss his wives.
Yes, during
But he
Ramadan.
say during Ramadan,
Yes.
he used to fast and he used to kiss his wives, and he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is the one who control himself more than anyone else. So if the person knows that he can control himself, then the fact of kissing or touching his wife cannot break his fast. The fast cannot be broken until when the person intends this playing with one's wife,
Mhm.
and he knows that he is not he doesn't control himself.
Right,
If something comes from him that is called money,
right,
then the fast is broken.
right. Okay.
So that is going to be like a person who intentionally
Right.
breaks his fast.
Let me ask you also. Say a woman is cooking during Ramadan,
Mhm.
and she's fasting,
Mhm.
and she tastes the food.
Mhm.
Is that permitted?
Mhm. Yes, it is. It is not liked. The ulama say there are 5 legal statutes in Islam: fard, nadb, karaha, haram, and ibaha. Fard is obligatory. Anything that is commanded and doing so bring you reward, and not doing so makes you sinful,
Right.
that is what we call fard. The second thing is haram. It's the opposite of fard.
Mm-hmm.
And makruh is something that is forbidden, but not in a way that it will cause a person to sin.
Mm-hmm.
Something that can, let's say, for example, when a person make wudu, we tell you to make the wudu up to here. So if you go by here, what you do is makruh. It doesn't go up to haram, but it is makruh. It's disliked because you are creating something that if people see, they will think it is mandatory, and this can lead people to bid'ah, to create new acts of worship. So testing, if there is no necessity, it is disliked. But if the person doesn't know, if the person cannot do it elsewhere, meaning there is no a person that is not fasting who can test it for you, or you have no way to know that what you're cooking is good if you don't test it. So there's nothing in testing it.
What happen? What if I'm fasting and I eat something and I forgot? Oh man, I'm fasting, and I ate it and I swallowed it. Did I break my fast?
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man nasiya fa'akala aw shariba, falyutimma sawma, fa innama at'amahu Allah wa saqa." Whoever eats or drink forgetfully, let him finish his fast.
Mhm.
For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala feeded him
Mhm.
and gave him to drink. So if a person forgets
Mhm.
and drink, or forgets and eat,
Mhm.
then he should continue the fasting. The fasting is not broken.
What happens if
The only imam, please,
Okay.
the only imam among all the imams among all the 4 Sunni schools that says to make up that day is Imam Malik radiallahu ta'ala, just to make sure. But it is not, according to the hadith and the majority of all the ulama, the fasting still good. And this is what the ulama go by, because this is what the hadith says.
What if a brother happens to be he's fasting and his intention is to fast, but he has to take medicine. Supposing he has to take whatever the medicine is and he takes it, does that break his fast?
He has to take it.
His intention is to fast though,
Mhm.
but he takes the medicine anyway.
He takes the he wanted to
He-
fast,
no,
but
he
he has
has-
no choice.
Yeah, he has to take the medicine.
You can, if the medicine is something that you have to swallow, you have to inhale. That is breaking your fast. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says clearly, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا, whoever is sick, أو على سفر, or on a journey,
Mhm.
whoever is sick, or you travel, even the travel, if it's just you want to go see your brothers in Ohio, you have the right to break your fast.
Yes.
You're sick, you have the right to break your fast.
So a person who
فَعِدَّةٌ
travel-
مِنْ أَيَامٍ أُخَرَ.
A
Yeah.
person who travels has the right to break his fast
Yes.
until when? So let's say I'm going to I'm in New York and I'm fasting,
Mhm.
and my airplane ride is say 2 hours.
Mhm.
Do I have a right to break my fast in those 2 hours and then continue, or what's the rule there?
Once you have the intention to travel today, you have the intention. Now you have the intention to travel. Even before you go, you can break your fast.
Right. So
The
that
fact
for
that you have firm intention that
Right.
you travel today,
Right.
then before you go out of your house, you can break your
Right.
fast.
So for that day,
For that day,
For that
and,
day.
and until you come back.
or okay, so
Because
if you go for 3 days and then
If
you
you
come
go
back,
for 2 days, only in the madhab of Imam Malik, if you go beyond 4 days, you cannot break your fast there, you cannot shorten your prayers. But the majority is, as long as you are traveling, you can break your fast.
Do you have to
As
make
long
it
as
up?
you are traveling, you can shorten your salat.
Right.
Yes, the
Can-
salat,
can-
you shorten it, that's okay. But the fasting,
Can you make it up?
you
or,
have to
or,
make them up.
Okay, do you have to make it up?
Allah say, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَامٍ أُخَرَ. So let them make the fasting up during other days. Meaning that if a person is sick and he has to take medicine, there is no way he has to take them, and he has to take them during the day, then let them break the fast. If the doctor doesn't allow him, or the sickness doesn't allow him to wait until sunset to take the medicine, then let him break the fast and they make it up.
Mhm. Supposing the person has to take an injection, such as diabetics, they have to take an injection during Ramadan. If he takes an injection, will that break your fast?
Yeah, injection, you have 2 types of injections. You have an injection that feeds you,
Mm-hmm.
this break a fast. You have injection that doesn't feed the person. It is just an injection. But if the injection is to feed the person, it replaces the food. That type of injection breaks.
For
the fast.
instance, if a person has intravenous
Mhm.
and they're being fed through the intravenous, then the fast is no good.
There
It's
is no-
broken.
yeah, no. So let's see now why he is taking that. If he's taking it because of an illness that is temporary, then let him make it up after Ramadan. But if he's doing it for an illness that is permanent, that the doctors tell him that this is not gonna be, you're not gonna be out of it, it's gonna be with you forever, then let that person feed a poor person every
Then
day.
that person cannot
Cannot
fast.
fast.
And the way to, how you say, to make it better
Mhm.
is to feed somebody
Yes,
who's
that's his
poor
fault.
or homeless or whatever the
وعلى
case may
الذين
be.
يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين برواية
Does
حفص أو فدية طعام مساكين برواية wash. Allah says وعلى الذين يطيقونه, for those who can fast but with difficulty, فدية, they feed.
Right.
طعام مساكين, they feed a poor person
Right.
every day.
Does it have to
give
be a
him
poor
lunch.
person? What if they fed a rich
I mean,
person?
No, a rich person is difficult nowadays.
Okay.
Because
I
a
know,
rich
I know.
person, according to Islam, is someone that he has money. I mean, his wealth can feed him for a year.
Mhm.
If your wealth can feed you for a year, then you are
Right.
rich.
How,
If what you have now cannot feed you for a year, if you stop working for a year, you're not gonna be having money. You are not gonna be enough. You're not gonna be having enough. Then you are poor.
So, how much should we eat? I mean, should we stuff our face, really, really gorge at the end when we're breaking fast,
Mhm.
or should we eat a little bit?
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to break his fast with dates. With if he doesn't have the wet dates, the fresh dates, then he would have the tamr. There is tamr and rotab. Rotab are the fresh ones, and tamr are the drawn, the I don't know how to say, the drawn ones.
Yes.
Those are
Dry.
Yeah, the dry ones. You got the word. And if he doesn't have that, then he just takes some water. This is how the Prophet ﷺ used to do. Some of the people, when they break their fast, to them it's the feast time. As I always say, it's not a month of feasting. It is a month of fasting. It's not a feasting month, but a fasting month.
Yes.
Two people came through Sayyidatuna Aisha, the mother of the believers, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. And one of them, Masruq, asked Sayyidatuna Aisha. He said to her, two of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ are here, and none of them is heedless, meaning none of them doesn't play with the deen. All of them are very good at practicing the deen. But one hasten he breaks fast very early and then make the Maghrib very early. The other one delays his break fasting and then delays his Maghrib. And Aisha asked, who is the one making it early? He say, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He say, like this, the Prophet ﷺ used to do. So the Prophet ﷺ used to break his fast early, but with something little, something light. He recommends the Muslims to break their fast early. He said that Allah says, "Ahabbu ibadi ahabbu ibadi ilayya ajiluhum fitra." Allah said, the most beloved people, the most beloved servants to me are those who break their fast early.
Right.
And then when also you make suhoor, the pre-dawn dinner, also you have to make it very, very light, because Ramadan is a month of hunger.
Give me an example, light.
You can eat after Maghrib. You can
You're
eat
not,
like
you're not
normal
going to eat
dinner.
a turkey for breakfast.
I mean, if you want to, but
I mean, you can, but I mean, you know, you don't want to eat something heavy like
you
a
don't want to
steak.
you don't want to eat
in the
something that
morning.
will prevent you from
Yes.
making salat, because right after break time, you're gonna have to go do Maghrib, and after Maghrib, Isha is coming and Tarawih is coming. So the month of Ramadan is a school for us to train ourselves to be ready all the time to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you eat, one of the Salaf used to say, لا تأكلوا كثيرا فتناموا قليلا فتناموا كثيرا. If you eat a lot, you will sleep a lot.
Let me ask you, supposing I'm eating my food and the prayer time is coming in, you know, we broke fast and I'm still eating, and they're calling the adhan. Drop the food, go to pray,
So
or eat the food and pray.
The amount of food that you need to eat does not have to be that big that prevents you from going to salat.